Hello and welcome to the Tarkus Zone. Thank you for joining me. Today we're looking at my aquarium again. 3 months ago I did a video on this aquarium when I introduced the plants, the snails, and the shrimp. I figured I'd do an updated video to see how well the aquarium is doing after introducing those. I would have to say overall it's doing amazing. Look how nice these plants are. These are the plants. It was like a 6-pack of plants that they gave me. I got them off Amazon. I'll provide the links in the description below of these items, the plants, the shrimp, and the snails. As you can see, these plants are doing amazing. Now, that plant back there also came in the bundle. And the hogweed, I think it's called hogweed. This thing just is crazy. I might be calling it something wrong, but this was part of the bundle package, which I'll provide a link below for. It's going crazy. And you can see the snails. I started off with 6 snails. So when we bought the snails, there were 6 of them. As you can see, they pretty much grouped up here. They're eating the outside edges of the snails. Won't hurt your plant. They'll actually clean the plants. They'll clean the algae, like that back wall there had algae all over it. As you can see, it's completely cleared off between the snails, the shrimp, and the pleco I got in here. They've been cleaning up the algae. I don't have to do any cleaning of algae at all in this tank now. It's self-sustaining. That's why I got or introduced the snails, was to help me with the algae issue. And you would think, with the amount of light, I'm doing a 16-hour light cycle with this aquarium, so that's why the plants are doing so well. This plant here, I don't know if it's the pH that slows it down, but this was also part of the bundle package. And I don't know if that's just getting affected by the guppies or eating tails of that. This one here was another part of the package. It just seemed that some of the plants are doing amazingly well, and others kind of are, just trying to survive. It could be the pH balancing. Maybe I'm not balancing that enough. You can see a little damage on. What's great about the snails is when that kind of leaf happens, the snails will eat it and clean it up, and then they end up discharging the remains back into the water, which then the other plants that are alive and thriving can just easily absorb in their leaves and in their roots. Yeah, these snails are doing amazing. I think I got some down here. There's a snail biscuit. You see that little biscuit there? That is also some food. I can provide a link for that below, but you can see the shrimp is hanging out by it. There's another shrimp right there. See it? So I started off, I think, with like 12 shrimp, and now I got shrimp everywhere. So there's another shrimp. And as you can also tell, is the amount of guppies I have. It's basically a obviously I feed them and I clean the aquarium, but it's like sustaining kind of thing. Like they're having babies. They're kind of, just kind of doing their thing as a fish. And the snails are having babies. Like I said, I started with 6, and you can see, I got some at the top of the edge here. And sometimes they go to the edge only because that's where they're getting to the plants. And sometimes somebody told me that there could be something. I had just quartered this tank yesterday, so it'd be something with the pH just causing them to want to go up. But that should settle down. These guys are obviously up there because they're chowing on that the outer layer of those plants, because the plants will get some sort of greasy outer layer that the snails eat. Like, it's not an algae, but it's like a layer, and they eat it off. And actually, the plant thrives from them cleaning the plant. So they're actually, when you go to get plants for your aquarium, then snails are the way to go, because you introduce the snails, and they basically harvest this material off the leafy edges, which makes the plant absorb nutrients better. And it just, all in all, they just work together. And the shrimp are around to help me with the algae control too. As you can see, that biscuit, and I will provide a link for this biscuit. I put 3 of them in every other day. So there's one there, one got dropped right there. And, within a couple hours, there's another one around here somewhere. in a couple hours, what's going to happen is there's going to be all these snails down here, and the shrimp are going to be down here as the fish start breaking it up and chumming the water. But overall, I've been very happy with this purchase. The plants, the snails, and the shrimp. I mean, it's been amazing. I mean, this aquarium is doing so well. So much so that, again, the guppies are just reproducing. They just keep on growing and growing. And eventually what's going to happen is I'll put something on Facebook saying, look, I'm going to be giving some guppies away. And, you know, just show up with a bucket and I'll just scoop some guppies out of this thing. I'll probably do the same thing with the snails. Some of you might be thinking that you might have too many snails. How you get snails out of a tank like this is you take a piece of lettuce, and then you either can put an plant anchor weight. There's one of them down there. You see that little anchor weight? There used to be a plant there. It must have got loose and floated away. And then what happens is the snails will go to that piece of lettuce, and then you just pull the lettuce out with all the snails attached. And then you can bag them up and give them to a buddy or whatnot, or introduce them into maybe an outdoor pond, or do whatever you want with them if they get out of control. I mean, the other option you've got, see how these guys are moving from the top of the tank? They're heading down here where they can smell that biscuit. I mean, it's crazy in how quickly the migration happens for these snails that are at the very top of the tank. They'll just start making their way down. Snails will make their way down. They'll be down at the bottom of the tank. You little baby guppies. All right, I think I've taken enough of your time. Just wanted to give you this update, and I want to thank you for joining me. And this has been the Tarkus Zone.